Hello everyone, this is Samiran Methi, Senior Lecturer in Computer Engineering Department from Praveen Patel Polytechnic. I am here with the fifth chapter of ACN, which is fortunately the last chapter of ACN. And before starting with this video, let me tell you guys there will be 4 parts or 4 videos of fifth chapter. So the learning outcomes, in the sense the learners will be able to understand once the chapter gets over what is application layer, different application protocols, what is www, cookies with HTML, as well as difference between POP3 and IMAP. So I hope everyone knows the full form of this different protocols, and I don't think so there should be or there could be any fiasco as far as this full forms are concerned. Coming to www, and I'm sure many of the students might know what is www, that is World Wide Web, and it is a collection of millions of files stored on thousands of servers all over the world. So whenever we write www.google.com, it returns us those files stored on those thousands of servers, and these files consist of pictures, videos, sounds, etc. Now I hope everyone knows what is a web browser. For example, Google Chrome is a web browser, Mozilla Firefox is again a web browser. So a web browser is a program. It is used to communicate with web server on the internet. For example, if I am trying to access www.google.com, so in the sense google.com will act as a web server, whereas Google Chrome will act as a web browser. So web browser, that is Google Chrome, is used to communicate with web server, that is for example google.com on the internet, which enables us to download and display the web pages. And these are some of the most popular browsers, but you could write Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome as well. Regarding working of www, now www works on client server interaction. For example, your web browser will act as a client, whereas google.com will act as a server. The browser program acts as client that uses the internet to contact a remote server for a copy of the requested page. Remote in the sense google.com server will not be at the local network, it will be far away, so they are trying to convey that remote server is used. Right? The server on the remote system returns a copy of page along with the additional information, whatever information the client has asked excuse me, with the help of web browser, that is Google Chrome, that information will be displayed with the help of web browser. So following steps are used. User enters the URL, for example www.google.com, in the address bar of web browser, for example Google Chrome. Then browser requests the DNS server for IP address corresponding to www.google.com. So in case if you remember configuration of DNS, where DNS like google.com is translated to its corresponding IP address for machine to machine communication, in the sense client to server communication, right? So that point of conversion is being discussed in point number 2. And in the third point, what they are trying to convey is, after receiving IP address, browser sends the request for web page. So once the server gives the IP address to the client, or Google Chrome I could say, then the browser sends the request, again Google Chrome sends the request for web page to web server using HTTP protocol. This point is really important. So once the server returns the corresponding IP address to the client, now client will communicate with the server with the help of hypertext transfer protocol, right? And finally, then web server receives request using HTTP protocol and checks its search for the requested web page. If it is found, it returns back to the web browser and close the HTTP connection. I hope the point is clear. I hope the diagram is clear as well. Now the web browser receives the web page, it interprets it and displays the contents of web page in web browser's window, and accordingly user gets the requested data. I hope the point is clear. Coming to cookies, so I hope everyone knows what is a cookie. For example, in case if I visited www.prppolytechnic.com 2 days back, and after 2 days if I type www.prp, then the drop down box comes into picture, and they let us know that this page could be accessed with the help of already a previous searched page. So that is with the with the advantage of cookies. So cookies, they are files generally from a visited web pages which are stored on the user's computer. They hold a small amount of data specific to a particular client and website, and can be accessed either by a web server or client, which can be usernames, passwords, session tokens, etc. Excuse me. A cookie may contain up to 5 fields. It could contain domain, that is prppolytechnic.com for a saying, path in the sense some additional information apart from prppolytechnic.com, content in the sense, for example, in prppolytechnic.com you have tried to access the admission page, so prppolytechnic.com/admission. Expiry, when that page will get expired or the cookie will get expired, and the security that particular cookie is using. So there are 3 types of web documents. I hope everyone knows what is a web document. The document which can be accessed with the help of internet is nothing but web document, and there are 3 types of web documents: static, dynamic, and active. So obviously, as the name suggests, static documents are fixed. These contents are created and stored in a server. In the sense, those particular pages are fixed. No dynamic sort of activity will be created on the request of a client. So thus the contents of static documents are fixed. These contents are created and stored in a server. So whenever the client asks for the information, that particular static documents will be returned to the client. If required, the client can get a copy of static documents. The content of static documents are determined when it is created. So obviously the developer who creates those static documents, so when it is created, that particular static documents, fixed documents, will be decided by the developer. So this is the diagram of client requesting for a static document, and server will return the static HTML document to the client. Coming to hypertext markup language, and being a diploma 3rd year students, I hope everyone has an idea regarding HTML. So HTML is intended as a common medium for typing together information from widely different sources. In the sense, you could attach to it audio as well, video as well, text document as well. Fine. HTML documents are in plain text format that contains embedded HTML tags. Fine. Documents can be created in any text editor like Notepad, etc. There are so many other tools apart from Notepad, including editors designed specifically to assist in creating HTML documents. To view those HTML documents, we need a browser. The most basic element in HTML document is paragraph, and I hope everyone has an idea regarding this general structure of HTML. So HTML is starting and it is ending with \HTML or /HTML. Similarly, head and again /head. The head ends with /head, and so on. Fine. Dynamic document, it is contrary to static document, in the sense it won't be fixed like static documents. It is created by a web server. Apology students, it is written it is created by a web browser, but no, it is created by a web server on the request of a browser. Fine. So you could get into this diagram. Client sends request, server runs the program to create dynamic document. In the sense, server creates this dynamic documents, and finally in the 3rd stage, server sends the document to the client. Fine. Common gateway interface, again apologies for the spelling. CGT is the name of technology which creates the dynamic documents and handles them. CGT is in fact a set of standards. The word common in CGT shows that this standard defines some rules which are commonly applicable to any language or platform. So irrespective of any language or platform you use, there are some common standard defined rules, and that has to be followed. The word gateway in CGT shows that gateway is used for accessing other resources such as database and graphic packages. In the sense, gateway could be understood as a router. So router is used to access any other resources like database and graphic packages. The word interface in CGT shows the presence of set of items, calls, variables which can be used in any CGT program. I hope everyone knows what is calling, what are variables, etc. Fine. So uniform resource locator, again quite a simple topic. The URL is a standard for specifying any kind of information on the internet. It has 3 parts, if you could see the diagram. Fine. The first part is the name of protocol, that is HTTP. and sihagat.com is nothing but name of computer on which the server is running. And finally types is some additional information about sihagat.com. For example, if you are trying to access branches of prppolytechnic.com or in prppolytechnic.com, so it will be like http www.prppolytechnic.com/branches, right? So it will give you the information about how many branches are there in prppolytechnic.com, its sanctioned intake and so on. Fine. So we have come to hypertext transfer protocol. So the hypertext transfer protocol consists of two fairly distinct items: the set of requests from browsers to server and set of responses going back from server to client or from server to browser. So request will be sent from browser to server and response will be sent from server to browser. The main function of HTTP is to access data on World Wide Web, and principles of HTTP operation, it is simple. We have already discussed that client sends a request, server sends a response, and the request and response message carry data in the form of letter with MIME like format, multi-purpose internet mail extension, in the sense it could consist of audio, video, etc. So this is the diagram of HTTP. So HTTP is connectionless in the sense the connection is wireless. Fine. Connection is wireless in the sense it is connectionless. HTTP is media independent in the sense it could fetch audio as well, video as well. And finally HTTP is stateless in the sense session information of client and server is not saved by either client or server. Fine. Whereas TCP like protocols are stateful in the sense session information have to be fetched or have to be saved by both client or server. Fine. So this was it regarding part 1 chapter 5. I'll soon upload part 2 of chapter 5. Thank you for watching the video. Take care. Bye.